There we go. Creditsy, creditsy, credits. So, there we go. There's music. So, thoughts. I mean, mechanically, it's the same as Dragon Age Origins, so I can't really talk about it in terms of mechanics. But then again, I'm not really too fussed with the mechanisms in the combat as long as it's possible. There were a few times towards the end where characters would just switch who they were attacking, and I don't recall that happening in Dragon Age Origins. It may have done, and I may have shouted at it then, but it was frustrating. I care about the story. That's what I play this game for. It's what I play most games for, is story. That's why I like mostly RPGs and puzzle games, because they really do focus on story. So what are my thoughts on the story of this? And I think ultimately the problem is it's trying to be Origins. And it doesn't have the time to be Origins. It starts off, you know, a little bit of an introduction, get you up to speed. Now we're going to split you off again. So there's your Origins and Ostagar bit. Then it splits you off. So that's you're getting the treaties stuff. And then you kind of hone back into a final fight. And there's even a dragon. So I think I got that here. I think also the problem is from the feel of it. I did things in the wrong, let's say it in the wrong order. It almost feels like you're supposed to go to Calhirol first, so Knotwood Hills, then go to Blackmarsh, and then finish with the Wending Wood. From what I've seen here, so if you're going to have it be linear, or it's going to do really weird things like Sigrun didn't join the Grey Wardens. Didn't go through the joining in this playthrough. It feels like they expected people to do things in a certain order. And I didn't do it in that order, so things got a bit messed up. This is a bit frustrating. I'm kind of annoyed that out of every character they could have had from the previous game, out of all the companions, you bring back Oghren. Out of every... he was my least favourite in Origins, but that was because I liked him the least. In this one, it's because I kind of disliked him the most. He was the only one I really kind of didn't get on with that well. It seems really weird. Like, they didn't maintain your approval from the last game. I think it just reset your approval. Which makes sense if you're a new person coming in. But this is... I'm playing as the hero of Ferelden, and we recruited Oghren. Is that a choice? I think you have to, don't you? I brought Oghren with me. I don't think there's any way of him dying in the previous game, but we brought him along. Wait, he's here, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you're the commander of the Grey. We've never met before. I've got no prior feelings towards you." Yes, he does! We were great pals. Well, we weren't great pals, but we were mates. We got on well. And it also feels like there's a key disagreement, like a key kind of dissonance in character. I think to give him a new personal quest. Like, I don't even know if other characters had personal quests, did they? Oh, Justice wanted to meet Aura. Nathaniel wanted to meet Delilah. Anders wanted to find out about the deal with his phylactery. Sigrun didn't have one. It's a bit odd. Valana... Oh, with Valana it was the random meeting with the elves. Random, inverted commas, meeting with the elves. Where they're like, "Oh, the keeper is dead and you would have been a terrible keeper." Blah, 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 blah. Oghren's was the only one that seemed to require us to get to the very top of his... Well, maybe not his very top, but certainly higher than we got with anyone else, I think. Before anyone else's actually kind of happened, and then you had to kind of... So you had to trigger it by getting his approval up, and then you had to get his approval up even higher. It's like... that's stupid, especially when the way of kind of, I don't know, like, I think his character just changed, and especially, you think about how he was, like, he remembered Felsi, like, he was loyal to Branka, to the point where he is begging people to send expeditions into the deep roads to find her. He's that dedicated to people. He can be serious. And now he's like, and then he remembers Felsi, and even through his loyalty to Branka, he remembers Felsi. And and when Branka's dead, he wants to go to her. Okay, right. This game, he is so disloyal to Felsi, and so uncaring and unloving to Felsi, that his reaction is, I'm gonna go and join the Grey Wardens! Rather than... what? Why? Where did that come from? It's just... out of every character... I think the problem is... Morrigan's gone. Sten's got no reason to stay after Origins. Neither has Shale. I think... I get the feeling Wynn can die. I think Liliana can die. From what I know of Origins. I think it depends how you act around the urn, but I think Liliana can die. I think Wynn can die if... I don't know, I think it's connected to her companion mission quest thing. Alistair can of course die, he's a Grey Warden. Loghain would be able to die, he was a Grey Warden. Zevran, you might kill him. I think there are several situations where you could kill him. So that leaves Oghren as the only character who will certainly be there. It's like, so I can understand why Oghren does return. But they've tweaked him and changed him, and I don't like that. Other characters, Justice is quite interesting. I like the fact that I like that situation where they've kind of gone with someone who is... well, he's in a human, but he's not actually human. So that's quite interesting. Anders, I do like. He's kind of like Alistair, if we're honest, isn't he? He's very kind of sarcastic, and I think we'd get on great, me and him. Sigrun, same thing. I think, as I was saying, I think those two and Nathaniel, I think if there'd been more missions, I think that probably would have, apart from the fact there's no warrior there, I think that could have been a good kind of standard party that probably would have occurred. Sigrun was kind of similar to Anders in the kind of sarcasm and sense of humour. And I think in a way it's another reason why I would have liked to... If I did play this again, I would go and get her first before Valana or Justice, because I think it'd be interesting to see where that goes, and maybe I just missed her companion quest. Nathaniel Howe, I think it makes sense because you've gone and killed his dad. What's he gonna do? But I do like the fact that he doesn't realise why. He doesn't really know what's happened. He's just kind of taken in by the kind of his dad. His dad was his dad, and that's kind of the important thing there. But I do like the fact, like they mentioned it a few times with the human noble. It's like Kuslands and Howes. They up until this point they've always seemed to kind of get on. Well, maybe always, but recently. And then Rendon Howe turns on it, and I do like the idea of them kind of becoming kind of friends again, and kind of, you know, building that relationship up again. Yeah, it's kind of at a point. Who else have we got? Oh, we had Valana, who I think, yeah, she's just the thing with Valana as a character is she doesn't do any kind of... She does a very basic kind of, oh, there are humans around, and my sister's missing. And then rather than go looking for her sister, she goes on a rampage to kill humans. Which doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me, but I'm not a homicidal elf. So, I find it interesting. I found the Architect Mother thing quite interesting, but it does mean that what's the point of having the Grey Wardens involved? I think it would have been better to have the right, because there was that bit with the conspiracy where the conspiracy's around, ooh, what's going to happen with the conspiracy, ooh. And I think it probably would have been more interesting and not repeating the game and the kind of very much be kind of a repetition of Origins. If instead of focusing on the Darkspawn and dealing with that issue and the cure for the Darkspawn of Grey Warden blood, I think it probably would have made more sense if you'd had the conspiracy. So you've got all these nobles who were happy under Howe. Howe was Isle of Amaranthine, became the Turn of High Ever, and they were getting a lot of benefits from that. And especially with the fact he was also kind of almost Chancellor to the Regent, he wasn't spending an awful lot of time up there, so they would have had a much freer hand. And so you could have kind of made an interesting game of just kind of trying to reel them in, trying to deal with them, and trying to remind them that you are in charge, and you're now in charge, and that they shouldn't mess with you, even though you've kind of taken their meal ticket away. And I think that could be more of an interesting plot. But then you don't get, but you don't get the horrible gribblies of the childer and the children or whatever. And you're not fighting the mother and the architect. You're fighting ordinary people. And then it becomes a bit more of a kind of a moral choice, more of a choice system of how do you treat the nobility? Because if you do it with too firm a hand, then there's a chance they'll rebel. And if you do it with too light a hand, then you're going to lose a lot of prestige because they can just ignore you. So you'd have to kind of balance that, which I think that would probably be more of an interesting story. More interesting choices, at least. I'm not sure how many choices there were in this game that will have impact on people. By the sounds of it, everyone did survive, and I think Vigil's Keep stood. So, obviously there was just something wrong with the codices. Maybe it's just because I didn't go to Vigil's Keep. They just went, yeah, they're dead! Rather than actually checking if Vigil's Keep fell and they were actually alive. So, yeah. Yeah, so overall, Dragon Age Awakening, it's more Dragon Age Origins. Condensed. And I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a good thing. I don't know. It was good to hang out with Gaheris again. And we will be doing that again next time. I'm not sure what I'll be doing next time. I may or may not do Golems of Amgarak. I may play it a little bit, and it is more combat focused and less story focused, which does wound me so. It's not exactly what I want. What I would have liked from Dragon Age. It seems to be kind of antithetical to the idea of Dragon Age. But we'll see. We'll think about it. So yes, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the series, and I'll see you again for Golems of Amgarak, possibly, or Witch Hunt, one of those two. Certainly. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.